Raanan is fat and he's a Jew. He'll tell you something that you already knew. Your favorite movie sucks. Your favorite movie sucks. American Beauty or Forrest Gump, your favorite movie sucks.
We are back with another episode of Your Favorite Movie Sucks. I have here one of my oldest, dearest friends, Ismael Loutfi.
Hello.
Hilarious comedian and TV writer.
Sure.
I can't say if you're a funny TV. I guess I haven't seen any of your TV writing.
No TV writer is funny.
Okay, yeah. Because I said hilarious comedian, and then I gave no superlative to TV writer.
And you shouldn't. No TV writer deserves any sort of superlative or any kind of description. Even.
And I want to make it clear, some people might think hilarious was for both of those. It was not.
It
was hilarious comedian and just TV writer.
Yes. Yes, neutral TV writer.
Yeah, but you've worked on, many... you do a lot of Muslim cartoons and stuff.
I've done one Muslim
Even though
cartoon.
Muslims seem to hate cartoons.
You know what? That's a good point. We're trying to reclaim them. But
yeah,
I've worked on one Muslim cartoon.
That's right.
And I've worked on two non-Muslim
cartoons. Right, 3 cartoons, 1 Muslim.
Yes.
The Rami show.
Yes, and I've worked on 2 variety shows, and one of those was Muslim.
Oh, right.
One of them was After Midnight.
Oh, After Midnight, which
not
I
Muslim
did.
at all.
That's
Which
true.
you did.
Which you were kind of my writer for.
I wasn't your writer. I was there. I was hanging out with you.
You were hanging out with me.
But you had a writer named Nori Reed.
Right. I had a writer, and it was fun. It was a fun show.
Yeah.
And then, Hassan's show.
And Hassan's show, yeah.
You wrote his lies.
I wrote his lies.
Did you write his...
I came up with all the
lies. You wrote his fake hate crimes.
Yes. There's actually a whole document of fake hate crimes that we had to
The rejects, the one that didn't make the show?
yeah.
Him getting lynched from Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes. We have it's called just the Jussie Smollett document.
Go back to India. The bottle hits his head.
What do you think about like soft hate crime jokes? Like, it's not like you're...
What do you mean?
Like, you've got your joke about the lady throwing a quarter at you.
Yeah.
Did that really happen?
Yeah, that did really happen.
Now, what if it didn't happen? Would you feel like you're a piece of shit for saying it?
No.
To me, when I hear you say that, I'm like...
It probably didn't happen.
I'm not necessarily thinking it didn't happen, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm not thinking of the reality of somebody throwing a quarter at you. So to me, I'm like, okay, the joke itself is good, and that's all I care about. But I guess audiences probably take stuff they take it seriously.
I don't know. Audiences takes things seriously and also don't. Like, people after shows are always like, "Are you really Jewish? Are you really from
yeah,
Kentucky?
that's so true.
Are you really
that's
fat?"
True.
It's like they think I'm lying about everything.
Yes, I have people ask me if I'm really Muslim.
Yeah, it's like, who would lie
time.
about that? Yeah, so I don't really know. I mean, I also think I think it. Well, he got in trouble just because it's interesting. His real sin isn't the lying. It's to trying to instead of being funny, being sincere. That's the original sin. And then when it turned out some of those things were lies, if they had fucking punchlines, I would give a shit.
That's true.
But his sin is really the let me
trying
be
to
sincere
trying to sell it like it's real. But I don't think any of it was that bad. And I think people were out to get him, and he got.
He got, but he's back, right?
I mean, he's doing great.
Nothing Matters, which is a good way to describe this movie that we talk about today. Inside Llewyn Davis.
One of the best movies ever made.
It's incredible. It's one of my favorite movies, the last Coen Brothers masterpiece. Before we get into it, I just got to do a quick plug. I'm taping a new special. May 15th. I got a new hour. That's what happens when you don't just do crowd work all the time. I have a new hour, and it's no one cares. But anyway, that is how you do a new hour. And people are like, "How do you do a new hour?" It's like, well, I don't do crowd work.
Yeah, just don't. Time. If you want a new hour, don't succeed.
Yeah, don't succeed. Yeah, exactly.
Don't make fans.
Don't make fans. Don't succeed, and don't ask people where
because
they're
that's
from.
the thing. Fans get in the way of writing a new hour.
That's true. That is a good point.
But if you don't have to worry about those, you can be prolific.
Which is why I desperately need the people watching this to get tickets now. May 15th in Lower Manhattan at Sesh Comedy Club. Tickets at punchup.live/Raanan/tickets. And if you get it now, you get $5 off if you type in live in the promo code. So go get tickets to my special. I'm
happy for you. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
man.
hopefully it's not an Inside Llewyn Davis situation where I walk by Matt Rife on the way to the back alley. I can't believe I compared Dylan to Matt Rife.
But in Llewyn Davis's mind,
that is the same.
Bob Dylan is Matt Rife.
He is Matt Rife. I'm just walking out and I just hear Matt Rife and like, oh, what's your name? You're gay, aren't you? And then I'm outside getting beat up.
Getting beaten up.
And the credits end on crowd work. His crowd work.
Oh.
But so Inside Llewyn Davis, one of my favorite movies. I rewatched it yesterday, and it's just fucking
top to bottom. It's
top to bottom, just kind of a perfect movie.
It really is.
Carey Mulligan might be a little bit too much of a.
She's the worst part of the movie, but she's also good. She's fine.
Good. She's just
fine. She's a little too mean.
She's a little too mean. It's a surprisingly not great female character for the Coen brothers.
True.
Yeah, which is. But other than that, it is just other than the one woman in this movie.
The Wonder Woman.
It is.
Well, the Guilfoyles. What are the name again?
They're great. The Guilfines. I don't know.
Yeah,
something Jewish.
It's something very Jewish and like interestingly Jewish.
Gorfines.
The Gorfines. The Gorfine lady's great.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, of course. It's just a great
Carey
movie.
Mulligan's a little too.
When did you watch? When was the first time you saw it?
I saw it when it first came out, which was 2013.
Yeah,
so I was
say that's right.
2 years into stand-up, and I was in college.
Oh, wow. And you continued doing stand-up after that.
Well, I didn't like the movie.
Really?
I saw it, and I was like, I don't really get it.
Oh, this is one of these movies you didn't... Oh, yeah.
You just don't get. I watched it, and I was like, I don't get this at all. This is boring and slow, and,
My theory
what's
is
it
that
about?
The movies you don't like at first, and then you like, are the movies you love the most,
That might be true.
It is one of those movies. I mean, I loved it the first time I saw it because I'm a little more film savvy than you.
Well, and you're like 13 years older than me. You're like a grown man with a full meth addiction.
My career, I'd already lived long enough to have a career that failed, so I could relate to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing. I watched it when I was 20, and I was like, what is this about? What is this about? Like, this is just about a loser. And little did I know it was about me, and it was about every single comic I'd ever met.
Well, not the ones you like, probably.
All my friends.
Yeah.
All of my friends.
The ones you don't compromise.
And I rewatched it like a month ago, and it made me go, man, I wish when I watched this when I was 20, I had like somebody to tell me what it was about.
Right.
And somebody to be like, no, pay attention. This is like very important.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm interested in this process of falling in love with, how did that happen?
I watched it like 5 years ago when I was married.
Oh, okay. So
during my marriage.
So in other words, you did a little more years in comedy. And then
Yes. I did 8 more years of stand up and then had a wife and was miserable in a marriage, and COVID happened, and I remember this movie being kind of interesting. And then I watched it and I went, oh wow. This is about everything I've lived through, kind of.
It's like this thing I do when I'm at sessions, young people, and I do like fat jokes or growing old jokes, and they're not laughing, and I'm just like, go back, have life, shit on your dreams, and come back here in 4 years, you'll find this funny. It's kind of what you did. You kind of left.
Yes. I left and I came back.
Had some comedy dreams come true and fail.
Yes.
And a divorce, even though you still look like you're in middle school. And and then you watch it again. And that is a perfect place to watch it. What spoke to you so much?
I think the thing that's so special about it is that it's really about it's about pursuing success and about being stuck. In the end, he's like stuck in this where he can't do anything, But it's also about just accepting that you can do something better, kind of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And comics are the most miserable people in they bring it on themselves.
Right. Yes.
I think the show Louis has done the greatest psychic damage to our generation of comedians, because that show Louis is about a loser who's a degenerate, and but he's also a brilliant artist. And he's so smart, and it's him making the show. So I think everyone of our class basically saw it and was like, oh yeah, in order to be a comic, you have to be depressed, fat, sad, sexually corrupted, and just everything has to be going wrong for you.
And then you look at all the successful people, and they're nothing like that.
Of course. And then even Louis, the guy making the show about how he's a loser, is a fucking multimillionaire. He's fucking people and raping them, and you know what I mean? Maybe not raping, but he can do whatever he wants. And it's it's all an illusion.
And
I'm 20 years old watching it that's what I have to be. And so then the next 10 years of my life, I was just like, oh, I'm all fucked
Interesting.
up. Life is fucked up. And it's like, I'm not enjoying myself. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of like being sad.
So Inside Llewyn Davis is almost a real version of that bitter, angry.
Yes. It's like what if the character in Louis was real? It's Llewyn Davis. It's just a loser who's depressed and homeless and can't do shit, and he got a girl pregnant and everything's fucking bad, and he's a coward.
Yeah, I think the part that really, for me, have you seen A Serious Man?
Oh yeah, of course, I love it.
I like A Serious Man a lot too, but this movie I like more.
Very Jewish.
Yes, a little too Jewish. This movie I like a lot more because of something you said, which is he brings it on himself. In A Serious Man, it is a Job-like story, and you don't get the sense he could do anything that differently.
It's out of his control, yeah.
But in this, it's really about perspective. I mean, like, it really is. I mean, obviously the world is shallow and all this shit, but his perspective of that scene, we'll go through the whole movie, but his perspective of that scene with F. Murray Abraham, one of the great scenes of all time, is definitely a negative defeat. The confirmation, like you had one last hope and it got extinguished and it's what you knew all along. Yeah. Yet at the same time, that's also the scene where he basically gets asked if he wants to be in Peter, Paul, and Mary. Yes. And he says no.
And he says
no. So someone else would have been like, that was the greatest moment of my life. I got into a big band.
Exactly.
So right there, you see, he does bring it on himself. It's not simply him being cursed. You know?
Yes.
So one wonders if he actually was cursed by John Goodman, because John Goodman has the black arts.
Oh, right.
So his life was doing pretty bad before that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's so good about the fucking movie, is that he could be successful.
Yes.
He could be happy. He could be everything, and he chooses not to be.
He chooses not to.
Inside, he has this sadness and this inability to be happy. And even when he was with his partner and they were a band before his partner committed suicide, you know he was also miserable probably.
Right.
Even at the best of times, this guy's always been sad, always been miserable. And the movie's just, how long can you do that for before you have to fucking give up?
Right. And
then can you give up?
Yes. And then also, being
so
talented
sad.
is not enough. The other major theme of this movie, because he is extremely talented. Now, I think the songs he does is beautiful. Some people do not like this movie, and I'm not going to begrudge people who don't like this movie. I do think if you're not like, I mean, I do think it's a great movie no matter what, but like, if you don't like his songs, just from a taste perspective, it might be a little too hard of a movie to watch. Because it's the contrast between him being an asshole and have like a beautiful folk singer.
A great voice and beautiful song.
But if you don't appreciate the songs, you don't have that contrast.
Sure.
Like if you don't recognize his talent, then you're just watching an asshole for like,
True.
You know?
True. Yeah, if you don't like folk music, I guess. Which is it's cool to make a movie like that.
I mean, it was made for me. It was made.
I mean, it was made for me too.
Yeah, that's true. But like, my two favorite things are like the Coen Brothers and Bob Dylan.
Oh, that's so. Did you Complete Unknown?
No, because this movie is already like, this movie is the movie.
But it's not, because The Complete Unknown's about Bob Dylan.
Yeah, but
I liked it. I didn't think I would, and I love Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought Timothy Chalamet was good.
Chalamet was great. I mean, it's just,
and I thought the songs were fun and
it is funny too. Like Dylan like has this mythical persona, but then in the modern time you make a movie, you're like, oh, it's just about a guy with autism. Like this is like the modern. Oh, it's just a guy with autism. Like he was this mythical weird guy.
Yeah,
but back then it was mythical. Now it's just autism reduces all mythical.
It really does.
He used to be a genius wizard who said profound things, and now he's just a half a tard.
Yeah, he's just chromosomes are kind of weird.
But well, let's start with the beginning of this movie. I mean, I did like the Dylan movie. I mean, no, I didn't. But to me, the Dylan movie just had, and I love Dylan. I love Dylan more than anything. But like, the stakes in this movie are so low. It's just kind of like annoying to me. It's literally just people watching him play guitar.
True. I mean, that would be my criticism, is like, it's about a really talented, successful guy who's really talented and successful.
He just doesn't want to connect with people.
Yeah, and just continues being talented and successful.
Like, what exactly is the drama?
The drama is that he writes like a Rolling Stone and then plays it, and then everyone's like, that's the best song ever.
But a couple people are
a little bit upset.
The drama is that he was just like a talented folk singer, and then also so talented he broke free from that.
Yeah, and exactly. Well, I get, okay, the drama is that Pete Seeger is like this whole we're building a movement and it's all about love and it's all about.
But it doesn't. That could have.
And then Bob Dylan's like, I don't care, and it's like you're right. Every man for himself. Individualism. It's like kind of fuck. He's evil. He's an asshole.
It would have been effective if the movie really focused on their relationship, but it's all over the place. It just kind of shallowly shows him with a couple different people.
Yeah.
But if it actually focused on him and Pete Seeger and it really felt like a betrayal at the end, that could have been impactful. Yeah. But it just doesn't spend enough time with them to the point where you care.
The problem is that he can't be a protagonist. Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
He just can't. He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He is a bad guy, and if it's not being framed of him being a bad guy to somebody, the movie is just kind of like, well, I guess he's just kind of cool and does whatever he wants. He's an asshole.
He's just really talented,
but he's super cool. Yeah. You go, all right. I liked it. I agree with you, though. It's fine. I agree with you, though. It's not perfect.
Compared to this, I mean, like...
This movie is like a perfect movie. Inside Llewyn Davis.
So let's go through it. We like to go through it here on the beginning of the movie. It begins with that opening, which becomes the ending.
Right.
Him in
the
bar.
So cool.
And so foreboding in such small ways. Just like the glass breaking and everything. And there's just there's such a dreamlike quality in this movie that is so interesting, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think after that scene, which it kind of goes off, and then begins with him waking up the next day in the house, and then the cat gets out, right? So do you know anything about the context of this movie, what it's based on?
I mean, it's some sort of legend, myth thing, probably. Knowing the Coen brothers. I mean, the cat's name is Ulysses. Yeah. There's got to be... Inform me, please.
Okay, so there's a couple things. Well, first there's the fact that it's based on the folk musician Dave Van Ronk, loosely. So Dave Van Ronk was this folk singer, great folk singer. He wrote a couple of his own songs, but for the most part, he was a folk purist. Where he just did
covers.
Yeah, this is what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they don't really go into that, but he is a folk purist. Dylan is the new version who writes his own songs.
Right.
And that becomes a big thing, right? Dave Van Ronk, actually, Dylan stole, he had a variation of House of the Rising Sun that was like his own unique variation on the song. Dylan, when he recorded his first album, stole that and recorded it. And then afterwards, he asked Dave Van Ronk, he's like, is it cool if I use that variation? He's like, no, because I do it. He's like, well, it's too late. I already put it on the album.
Oh.
So they two had beef.
Oh, my God.
A lot of beef. And there's a book by Dave Van Ronk, which is essentially, if you ever want to see how the Coen brothers work, this book is a memoir, and they use it to develop their own fictional story.
About Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
So there's scenes where he's with his manager, and the manager bluffs and tries to give him the coat. There's scenes where he's talking about the Merchant Marines.
Funny.
It's called The Mayor of McDougal. It's a great book. He's a brilliant writer. And he has an album called Inside Dave Van Ronk, which has a...
Wow. So they really just kind of...
But it's all... I mean, yes, but they combine it with other stuff. But so, like... There's that album, Inside Dave Van Ronk, and most of the songs in it are from his repertoire. Hang Me, Oh Hang Me, Ding Song, Fare Thee Well, I believe it's called Ding Song. Most of those songs are all in his repertoire.
Oh, so the movie Llewyn Davis just like took those songs from this guy. So it really
folk songs. They're famous folk songs, but he
got it.
His variations of it are like a big part of the movie.
Cool.
His versions.
Okay.
Yeah. So the cat is on the cover of Inside Dave Van Ronk. And apparently, when they made this movie, originally there was no plot at all, and they said they threw the cat in to give it a plot.
That's so
Which
funny.
is so interesting because the cat is the most important part of the movie.
Yes, the cat ties it all together.
And the cat is his one attempt at trying to think about another human being. And this plays a part, and the cat's name is Ulysses, which gets into the Odyssey, but also James Joyce's book Ulysses. So,
which I don't know anything about.
So Ulysses by James Joyce, which I'm a big fan of, is a book. It's basically it plays a big part in the movie on a couple of levels. So Ulysses, a book, is all set in one day, and it's a modern story, modern in the time, early 1900s Ireland.
Sure.
And it's a story that's very like basically all day stream of conscious, and it follows basically two people around, this middle-aged Jewish guy and this young guy who's kind of like James Joyce's alter ego. But it follows them through their whole day. But each of the chapters relate to one of the epic chapters from the Odyssey. So what James Joyce did in this, and what he is so brilliant at, is he'll take a very realistic story with banal elements and mundane elements and have them represent something epic.
Right, which is what the Coen brothers do.
Which is what the Coen brothers do.
Yeah.
And it's ultimately like the epicness, the external epicness of the Odyssey is now being told through the internal mind. So it's small things. This is why when he closes the door on the cat, this feels like an epic moment. Or when the guy beats him up at the end. These moments are filmed expressionistically. They're filmed epically. So, and that is the James Joyce style. So when he, at the end, when that guy, it's essentially just the husband of the woman punching him. But this feels like a force of death and like defeat coming at him, you know? So this is, Coen Brothers style and James Joyce have that connection of taking these small moments and making them feel epic and mythological, you know?
Cool. That's so sick.
So that's a big part of it.
That's
right?
so sick.
So, and then this movie is not one day, but it's basically 3 days, and it pretty much shows a lot of the time in it. It doesn't jump too far ahead, kind of like Ulysses.
No, it doesn't jump ahead a lot.
To the point where you can actually follow the money he has in his pocket.
Exactly, which is
similar to Ulysses,
such an effective thing to do.
Well, it just
you
feels
really
so
feel
real.
it. You're like, oh, he has $48.
It's the greatest. It's such a great screenplay because it feels so fucking real.
Yes.
And I mean, I'll jump ahead a little. I can't think of a better. One of the best written scenes of all time is when he goes to pay for the abortion.
Oh my God.
You find out that
unbelievable.
I mean, is there a better way to get exposition out than that? It's just incredible. He goes there
unbelievably good
to pay for the abortion, and it's not, no one's saying anything, no one's explaining it. It's just a negotiation. Oh, you don't need to. I still owe you from last time.
Why do you owe me from last time?
She never got the abortion. The cut to him, he has a 2-year-old kid.
That's insane.
That writing is just incredible.
It's so quiet. For there to be a scene that's so like quiet and like kind of mundane, like you were saying, but then your jaw's on the floor.
Yes.
Who's able to do that? It's like just kind of them, the Coen brothers. It's so fucking good.
And James Joyce.
Sure.
But them, like that is like
dude, I watched it when I was 20. I was like, the fuck is like, I felt nothing. I was like, who cares?
Well,
what?
I mean that is like, it's just the taking you day to day through each moment. Oh, also in Ulysses, he's leaving his house because his wife's having an affair. And he's leaving the house all day. So he's essentially, the whole movie's him trying to return home. Kind of like Odysseus.
Yeah.
So, but instead of going through all these islands, he's walking around Dublin. But then in a certain scene, he meets like a racist guy with an eye patch, but that's like Cyclops.
Cyclops.
But the idea of Cyclops, racism, he's a nationalist in this. The idea of that being like just narrow-minded, only seeing out of one eye, you know? Right. So it's actually the cat who gets locked out and tries to return home by the end. So the cat's actually the one who has the Ulysses journey, you know?
Which is why he was so happy. He was so excited.
Yes.
When the Gorfines tell him the name of the cat is Ulysses. He's
yes.
Like, it's named Ulysses!
Which is...
it's just so funny that the Coen brothers thought to just like, yeah, fuck it. Oscar Isaac's character is like knows Ulysses.
Yeah.
And he's excited by this. Like he'll be us for a second. Just for a second, he's us. Like what?
Yeah, they got to have the literary clue there, you know.
So funny.
But the cat thing also plays a big part. So, okay, this is my last nerd thing, and then we can talk more about the movie. So in Ulysses, in the first scene with Leopold Bloom, the main character, he is thinking about a cat, his pet cat, and he's trying to imagine life through the cat's eyes, and trying to think about what life is like from a cat. Mm-hmm. And this is essentially a reference to one of the famous French philosopher essayists, Montaigne. You know Montaigne?
I actually don't know Montaigne.
Montaigne really was this essayist who kind of helped create with Shakespeare the idea of like really internal thoughts and like your own being self-aware of your own mind, you know?
Yeah.
And one of his famous quotes is, "Who's to say when I'm playing with my cat, I'm just as much her plaything as she is mine?" And it was the idea of going, oh, what about life through a cat's perspective? Maybe she just thinks of him as her toy, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the idea of trying to think of life through different consciousness.
Sure.
So in the beginning, when he's with the cat, you right away connect these two. What it's like to be a cat. What's it like to be him? And for the first time, you see him. This is why he's on the phone. He goes, "I am a cat." You see him trying to think about someone else. And this is like the first half of the movie. He's actually trying to make a connection.
And then maybe the name Inside Llewyn Davis even is sort of a reference to this idea.
Yes.
Like the cat is from the cat's POV.
Right.
He's thinking about Llewyn Davis as this is like, thinking creature that you don't understand, but you will kind of want to be around.
But you kind of want to be around.
Yeah, that's interesting.
In the first beginning of the movie, you see 2 point of view shots, one from him and one from the cat. So you're seeing both their consciousness. You see him looking at the cat, and then you see the cat looking through the window of the subway.
Right.
So you see both their consciousness. So the movie,
both the perspectives,
the movie does show this interesting thing where he's finally trying to connect to someone, and it's a cat, and it fails miserably. And it's really where the movie, to me, loses all hope, is when he closes the door on the cat.
For sure.
That's the Godfather door closing.
Yes.
And
to me, I know they're unrelated, but it felt a lot like in Breaking Bad when Walter lets the girl die.
Yeah.
When he lets whatever Jesse's girlfriend just like die. It's
yes,
that same,
it is like that.
He's looking at this thing, he can make this decision, and he decides to just not.
It is one of the...
And it's so dark.
It is so dark, and there was this hope that he could connect to a cat. He could actually connect to someone, and he gives up in that moment. And the movie had the possibility of some redemption for him before that.
Yes.
And I think it never does after that. I think after that, it really is, he's completely alone. And it's his aloneness and his hostility that keeps him from getting anything, Do
you remember does he drive past the Ohio-Cincinnati exit with the cat in the car, or is that after?
No, it's after.
That's after.
He actually thinks he ran over the cat.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he basically, the car breaks down, the cat's in it, he closes the door on the cat, he hitchhikes, gets in a car with another guy, and then they drive past Cincinnati, which is where
Akron,
his
fucking...
Oh, it's Akron?
Yeah.
I watched it a month ago. I can't remember.
Midwest.
Sorry. They're all the same. They're all bleak, black, gray, metal fucking hellholes.
He drives by the Coen Brothers. I've heard them talk about that scene where, like, in other movies, he would go there.
Yes.
And this is not the kind of movies we make. In this movie, he just looks and keeps going.
He just keeps going. Well, yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, he keeps going because that's where his ex-girlfriend or whatever has a baby and has been living with his son or daughter for the last 2 years. And he has an option to go see her, and he decides to just keep on trucking.
And then he almost runs over, which he thinks might be the cat. It's highly unlikely it's the cat.
Well,
but he thinks it might be the cat.
The Coen Brothers movie.
I did try to freeze frame it. It definitely looks like the cat.
Yeah, it's orange.
Yeah,
it's like a little orange blot.
But I don't know. Well, let's go back to it. Let's start from the beginning. So, so in the beginning, that first scene, he loses a cat. He loses a cat on the subway. Everything's amazing. Even the dialogue is just like, even him on the elevator with the guy, like, when he's like, "Can you watch the cat?" He's like, "I got the elevator," and then he just keeps on repeating that. The way the Coen Brothers' ability to do repetition. Like, I got the elevator. I'm doing the elevator.
Yeah,
it's just same thing with that woman going, Cincinnati.
Yes.
So he does. So he's right. So he goes there, and then where does he go next? He goes. He drops the cat off at
with Carey Mulligan,
and she has that great moment where she's had the piece of paper with "I'm pregnant" on it.
Oh.
And I think. Here's the moment where I fell in love with this movie, and this is something where there's certain movies I watch. I call them NPR movies, where they're like, they're like these independent movies that people like Past Lives. I don't know if you saw it.
I liked it.
I liked it, but these people are too good, and it makes the movie boring. I need a little scumbagginess. Maybe it's just because that's what I relate to.
Yeah.
But like when all the characters are good. Well, A, I just think it's bullshit. And B, it's just NPR. It's just like, we're all good.
I agree.
But
these movies. Yes, there's these movies that just feel like a person talking to Ira Glass.
Yes.
And there's nothing.
The Farewell is like that. I don't know if you saw
The Farewell is like that too.
They're all just
Asian.
kind people.
There's something about Asian movies.
I might just hate Asian movies. But it's just like, it's just, there's other movies too. It's just like everyone's good.
Everyone's good.
I need a sideways. I need a scumbagginess.
To the Asianness of it.
Yeah. It's more than just Asian movies, by the way.
Sure, no, but I do think there's something of like ethnic movie, indie alt kind of movies that lend themselves to this sort of issue.
Independent
because the
films,
people making them really don't want to be presenting sort of a overly complicated character or like a negative portrayal, so they just end up making these sort of anodyne,
and they're just kind of good people.
They're just kind of good. They're dealing with an issue, but they're not really they're not like offering anything problematic to the table.
And there's not much tension because they all like each other.
Right.
Like there's not like it's just not. It kind of lowers the stakes a little. I don't know. I'm also just maybe a scumbag, and I like scumbag.
No,
shit.
I mean that's what all fucking good stuff is.
Yeah, you need
everything
a scumbag.
Good is crime.
Yeah,
everything
give
good
me
is
Raging Bull. Give me. Well, the moment I fell in love with this movie, and I guess it said a lot about me. The moment where I just related. I mean, first of all, it is a hilarious moment when they go. He finds out she's pregnant. They go to the gaslight, and then he asks her boyfriend, who he fucked his friend's girlfriend, and then he asked him for the money for the abortion.
Yeah.
That moment, it felt like something I would do in my 20s. That moment, to me, it's like, this is an NPR movie. This is a scumbag.
Yeah, this is a real film.
But it's also fucking hilarious. It's like so funny.
Well, it's so funny, and it's so fucked up, but it's so personal too, like or relatable. Like I like you. I saw that and I went, I would have done some shit like that. And I would have rationalized it to myself like, well, she wants a abortion and this is her partner and like
it might be his, so
it
that's
might be his,
fair.
so he should be getting it for her.
He should at least actually pay for half of it just because it might be his. By the way, that line when she's like, and now I have to terminate what might be a perfectly good baby, it's such a dark fucking line. So it is interesting with her though when she yells at him. It is like they don't really go into that moment when she definitely treats it like he raped her or something, but like she's taken away all accountability. It doesn't. I guess I'm fine. There's a lot of stuff where it doesn't go into, but I am curious. Like, what was that? They just got drunk one night and he pressured her. Maybe.
No, I think she likes him, and I think there are little hints that she likes him.
He does say "I love you."
Yeah. He says "I love you." She lets him stay there a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's
like they have a good relationship.
They had a good relationship. That's the thing about this movie. It doesn't. There's so much that they don't tell you, but like they must have actually felt some feelings, and then that got real bitter real quick. You know, and then and. Because at the end he says "I love you," and she's like, "Come on," but like it clearly like it wasn't just that he's an asshole.
No,
obviously,
no, of course not. I mean, redeeming qualities of his, like he is capable of loving somebody. I think, like at the end, like him saying that feels genuine. Like it feels.
I guess he's capable of loving someone.
Do you not think so?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think he's a fucking sociopath by any means.
Right.
I hope not. I relate to him too much.
He's just a loser.
I just don't think he can like provide a life for anyone, or even for himself.
Right.
But yeah, no, I do think he feels real love, and I do think well, first of all, he is also hilarious. I mean, he has some of the funniest. Fucking
funny
lines
character
ever, you know, like the shit he says to Troy Baxter, just like where do they plug you in, and like or the part where he's like, where you go to the manager, the Mel's gone, and he's like, he's at a funeral. And she's like, he's like, he goes to a lot of funerals, and she's like, he likes people, and he's like, fewer and fewer. He's fucking hilarious, and he's, you know.
Or even when that guy asks about his dad, he's like, "Oh, are you whatever Dave's son?" And he goes like, "Sure."
No,
like,
he goes,
so loud.
Why not?
Why not?
Which the first time I watched that, I think I thought maybe it was someone else, but it is him.
Me too.
It is him.
It is his dad.
But so you have that scene where he's asking her for the money for the boy, and that's the moment I was like, I love this movie. It's also the moment some people might be like, I don't like this movie,
sure.
And I hate those people.
Yeah, some people
those people
really hate movies about bad people.
Yeah, those people
and
suck.
They suck.
They suck.
They do. They just suck.
Because like, it's just so much more interesting.
Of course.
He's also not like, this is not a sociopath. This is a fucked up guy.
He's not a bad like.
He's
soul.
better than Dylan in fucking Complete Unknown.
Sure. He's not like an evil soul. He's just a loser who's forcing his life to be terrible.
He's
and
choosing.
we could talk about that too.
Yes, he's choosing and then acting like it's everyone else making a choice.
Right.
So then he goes, where do they go after? After the abortion, the thing. It's all very like so perfectly structured. I think he goes back to
it's very what's the word I'm thinking of? It's very like
minutia,
tight,
quotidian. Yeah.
Just efficient. It's like an efficient film.
Oh yeah, I've read the screenplay many times. It's just a true work of art.
Many times, Ron?
Yeah.
How many times have you read the screenplay?
Like 3 times.
Really?
I'm a screenwriter.
I mean, I'm a writer. I write stuff all the time. That's my whole job. I write.
I studied it.
Wow, okay. For school?
No.
Just for fun?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised. When people say they did a thing so many times, I'm always like, did he do really?
You don't want to hear how many times I've read Ulysses.
Yeah, you are a weirdo. You're a weirdo, and you spend a lot of time in the bath.
That's not weird. You should read this. Yeah, a lot of baths. You should read. You should study this stuff. I mean, this is the thing I like. Not everyone.
Hey,
but
I
for
agree.
Me personally, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I also like reading screenplays.
I don't get that. That sucks.
Really?
Nah,
you don't write. You don't read like TV.
I do, but I hate it.
Oh,
I do it for work, and I want to kill myself.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I hate reading.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like reading, but not for like a professional reason. Well, I like reading in bed before I go to sleep.
Reading screenplays teach you a lot about, obviously, screenwriting.
Of course.
Yeah. And I also, I don't read every screenplay multiple times. This is a movie I've studied just because
okay, fair enough. Sorry.
It's just like...
I was trying to call you out, but look, I should have known. You're like a 17th century... scientist.
Someone
like
commented,
you just read all the time.
Someone commented, they were like, on my thing. You know how like nice comments on YouTube are also like really mean?
Of course.
The comment was like, I love Raanan. And then the second sentence was, the reason people hate him is because he positions himself as an intellectual, but is constantly forgetting simple words. Which, by the way...
Well, that's what I was going to say, is like you're a 17th century scientist. Like you're smart, but you're actually dumb.
Yeah, I'm smart and dumb.
I'm
both.
Yeah.
I've read Ulysses 3 times, and I remember one week I poured coffee on my balls accidentally twice in 1 week. But first of all, I don't know if you're not supposed to say intellectual, but like... You can misuse basic words. You try doing a fucking podcast.
Yeah, no, totally. You're talking for an hour at a time. Come on. Nobody.
Older. I'm forgetting words sometimes.
Sure you are. You are, buddy.
I'm a fucking intellectual. I read Ulysses 3 times. What else can you ask?
Right, you're an intellectual with some of the lamest political takes I've ever heard. But look, maybe that's what maybe smart people have bad politics. It's possible.
Well, yeah, Ezra Pound was a Nazi. All right, where are we in the movie? Yeah, so he goes to his sister's.
Right, goes to the sister.
And that great line, which we can all relate to, where she's like, maybe you should give up on this, and he's like, what, just exist? That line, it's like embarrassing to see that line because every artist like does think that. They do kind of think of other people's lives as just you know, like
right, and then she's very offended by that.
Yeah,
she's like exists.
Well, he says like dad, who's like catatonic,
right?
But that line just exists as if without art you're not existing.
Yeah.
It is such a shitty line that we all actually
believe that we all would say in that same exact situation.
But I would also say I think everyone should do some kind of art. My girlfriend gets mad when I say that. She's like, but I think artistic creativity is good for everyone.
Yeah, no, it is.
So I guess
everyone should be doing something. And I mean, what is art? Is so subjective,
right?
But everyone should be doing something that they consider art.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No, everyone should write a screenplay. But like, yeah, right. But like, so I do think you're just without creativity. Maybe there is. I mean, you're not just existing, but creativity definitely makes existence more.
Yeah,
meaningful.
better. But for this guy, for Llewyn Davis, it's like, what else? To him, it's all there is. And to me, it's all there is. And to you, it's all there is.
It's also extra obnoxious when you're sleeping on the person's bed in their house and being like, what, you exist? To have the freeloader criticize your life is pretty obnoxious.
Which is what makes this movie so good, is that it's about a guy who's objectively doing worse than every other person in the movie.
Yes.
And he's judging all of them more than they're not even really paying attention to him.
And
he's judging everyone, the fucking the sergeant guy.
Yes.
There's like an army folk singer guy.
Literally,
and he's like, oh yeah, kill any babies or whatever he's saying. The guy's like, well, actually I'm a medic or whatever.
Who's based on, what's his name? Tom I forget the real guy's name, but he's based on, I believe, the guy who wrote that song, Tom Paxton, I think his name is.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Tom Paxton.
Who I think that's his song. But the camera work also helps show this because a lot of times he's below people and the camera's looking up. So it's looking up at the guy, the soldier, looking up from and he's looking up at a lot of people. And in the end, he's literally looking up at the guy kicking his ass.
Yes.
So the camera work is constantly looking up at people who he's then judging from the gutter.
Right. Which is so good.
Oh, it's incredible.
And I wonder, do are comics still doing, of course they are still doing this. Of just
behavior?
Of just being the dirtiest, worst, least successful, no credits, no success. All you do is get drunk. All you do is have sex with ugly ladies and then get.
Carrie Mulligan is no ugly lady. Hold your
Fair
tongue.
enough, but I'm talking about I'm talking about Brooklyn alt comics.
Okay, yeah.
Do these guys still exist? Because I feel like they're kind of disappearing.
The
Brooklyn
broke
loser.
Guy with integrity?
Yeah, the broke guy with integrity.
No, we live in a culture where selling out doesn't even exist anymore.
I know, it's gone.
It's gone.
So that's what I mean. Is Llewyn Davis even around?
There is no
still?
selling out because everything's selling out.
Yes.
There's no thing you're selling away.
Right.
I mean, I guess I don't do crowd work videos. And that's I feel like that's greatly
now selling out is of course. Now
and I regret it.
Selling out is a personal. You have to determine what it even means to you now, because would you do if a company hit you up and said, Raanan, we love your content,
100%, whatever you're going to say, yes. I don't even know what you're going to say, but yes. If it involves money, yes.
We will pay you $10.
I mean, even the crowd work videos, which I shit on, I still tried to put out a bunch. They didn't do well. That's why I'm shitting on them. If they did well, I'd pretend they had merit like every other fucking hack who's doing them, But, it doesn't do well. I put out a crowd work video the other day. It fucking bombed.
I know.
No. I mean, there's...
Well, here's why. Here's why you're right, though, is that the only way that crowd work videos do well is if they are stupid enough to do well. They have to be shallow. They have to be vapid.
But this is the Inside Llewyn Davis and all of us.
But it's true.
Where we just assume all success is shallow.
Well, to some degree, that's true.
There's truth to that, yeah.
And especially with crowd work videos.
Yes.
Like that, because I've had the same. We're the same. We've both put out crowd work videos that don't do well, and you go.
But we can't say we're not selling out because we're literally trying.
We're trying and failing.
There is no refusing to sell out. I mean, I guess there is a little, but those people. I've seen comedians refuse to play the social media game. They just disappear. Maybe it's just because I think no one on.
I don't think that's true. Yeah, some of them, but Ethan Simmons Patterson. He's not on social media at all.
Yeah, but that's part of his fucking... I don't buy that. That's part of his whole persona. Fuck him. He knows how cool that is. Yeah. Try doing that while not being a hot black man. Let's see how far that goes. True.
And he's at the cellar 30,000 times a week. So
he knows
he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Biggest hack of all of us. I'm just joking.
Nah, he's great.
Not that he'd ever fucking watch this.
No.
Might as well talk shit about him.
He's probably the safest person to talk shit about.
That's true. And you can't really talk shit about him. He's the greatest guy.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
But but that is the inside. That is the Llewyn Davis in all of us. It's just this, everything successful is shallow. But how much of that is our own bitterness? I mean, yes, the way he looks at whatever, I'll call him the real Tom Paxton or whatever his name is.
Right.
The way he looks at him, is that how we look at successful, is that how we look at Jeff Arcuri? He's just, what I mean? Good friend. But still, is that fuck this guy, he's all shallow. Well, he's a friend.
Well, okay, sure. I'm not going to dive into that. But the interesting thing about the Tom Paxton character is that he is reporting to duty.
Yes.
After his show, he's like, I'm gonna hitch my train back to wherever he goes, and he has to go back to the army base. And Oscar Isaac's character is such a purist about art that to him, the idea that this guy has a job or is in the army still, it's not even really about the moral sort of dilemma of being in the army during fucking Vietnam War. It's more about this guy's not really an artist.
Yes.
This guy, because if you're really an artist, you won't have a place to go.
Yeah, he sees artist as antisocial. He's like conflated the two.
Exactly.
Well, this guy's so in the army, he calls him Private Presley. He doesn't even say Elvis Presley. He's
he's
like, yeah, I have not met Private Presley.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he definitely there's definitely this like. Yeah, well, the problem with him is like you think being art is pure, not working for the man, but then you're living off all these other people's couches who work for the man.
Exactly. So you just become a parasite.
Yeah, I mean, he literally has no home, which is also crazy.
It's insane.
Like he has no home. Like that's the other question. Where was he before that?
I know.
Also, I guess it was much easier.
Well, I think that's the beauty of this movie is that it starts and ends in the same scene.
Right.
So it's almost like he doesn't. It's just like he exists in this cycle.
Yes,
He's just here forever and ever.
Yeah.
It begins and ends the same way.
Yes.
He's stuck here. He goes to Chicago. He does all the Carey Mulligan gets pregnant. Like all these things just keep happening to him.
Yes, it's a cycle
Infinitely.
which is kind of like Finnegan's Wake, James Joyce's other book, which I have not read. I cannot understand it. It's like complete gibberish. But it begins in the middle of a sentence, and the last page ends on the middle of a sentence that connects to that opening word. So the book itself is like a cycle, you know?
That's sick.
There's a cycle where he's not learning, he's not growing, you know? And in this cycle, he's a freeloader, he lives off people, but he is extremely talented. And it's, in a way, I think he's rebelling against. It's something I think we all rebel against, that talent is not enough. And he's rebelling against that concept.
Yes.
He's literally, he's like, I am really fucking talented.
Yeah.
And that should be enough. And he knows it's not. And he's rebelling against that reality.
Right.
And the thing we have to learn as artists is like, yeah, talent's great. It's not enough.
Right.
But that doesn't really negate the talent. It doesn't it's not selling out to realize that, you know?
Sure.
But he is rebelling against that, you know.
That's a brilliant analysis of it because, but it's not enough.
It's not enough.
We're
still having trouble facing up to that.
I know.
You know, in our narratives, which of course are based on the presumption we're very talented, which we are.
I would say we are. We are. Yeah, we're both good.
Yeah, we're both very good comics. I worry following you sometimes.
Oh, that's sweet. Likewise.
Yeah, I mean, the worry goes away once I.
When you got him really whipped up into a lather, when you're really getting him, getting him
Jordan
going.
Just told me what you said about me. I know the loud comment.
What did I say?
We've talked about this.
I don't remember.
It's my great. Jordan Jensen once said, "Me and Ismael were talking about how you're way too loud." And because I want the audience to know this, because I'm a firm believer in talking shit. I only got mad at her. I literally said to her, you betrayed Ismael's privacy.
I remember this.
He has every right to say that behind my back, but you betrayed his privacy. And I believe that. And I fault you none. Because we all talk shit behind people's back.
Of course. You know what? That's true. I don't want to hear what you have to say about me.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, I do know what you have to say about me. I've heard you say it on a podcast that my political views are. You said,
we've made that clear version. But I've been against.
You say worse stuff than that.
It helps that it's not what you said wasn't, I guess, that mean.
You are loud.
Yeah,
you know you're loud.
I guess. You said I didn't have to be, which is kind of like saying I'm doing every moment wrong.
All I'm saying is take the clicker and click down like 3 times.
I lower. I've been lowering.
A little bit. That's all I'm saying. And this was what, 2 years ago? This was a while ago.
The point is, I was against. This is becoming a Mark Maron episode. The point is, I was against her because I believe in talking shit, and I don't. And the people who snitch are the people you should get mad at. If anyone ever comes to you and tells you something bad of someone else said about you, shoot the messenger. Kill the fucking messenger. That's
a good lesson to have generally.
I believe that, yeah.
Because how often are you in a position where somebody's saying something behind your back that actually is going to be consequential to your life?
Never.
Almost never.
Never.
It's just going to make you feel bad.
I also just don't think, I talk shit when I don't even mean it. I'm just like, fuck that guy. I don't even, I like the person.
Sometimes it's just because there's nothing to say.
If everyone hates someone, I'll just hate them too. I hate people and I have no idea why. I'm just following everyone else's lead. And they've all only been nice to me.
I was at the mosque yesterday and there was a big group of us hanging out. And I didn't really know.
So that like it's a club we all go to.
Who was I hanging out with? I was hanging out with Nick Thune at the Comedy Cellar like last week, and then I was like, okay, I got to go to the mosque, and he, in earnest, asked, "Is that a show?" Yeah, it's a show. But I was hanging out with this group of guys, and we were talking.
Bombing joke. I'm not going to do it though. I just want to know it's out there.
Oh, okay, great. We're hanging out, and then I said, or one of them was talking about how they're Egyptian, and we were joking about Egyptians, and then there was just a lull, and I went, I fucking hate Moroccans. To just like fill the space, and then one of the guys was like, I'm Moroccan, and then I had to be like, oh, I was just saying, just to say anything. I don't actually feel any way about Moroccans. I don't know anything about them really.
Well, sometimes you just realize that you're just on your default mode is just hating whatever's in front of you. You just gotta turn. Like there are days where just whatever you present to me, I'm like, that sucks.
This goes back to bad people in movies and people being shitty. It's like that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's like friction.
Yes. It's like
how many times can you say, what a great day.
Yeah.
Before it's like, what the fuck do you have to say?
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's kind of like all of us in a bad mood. He's just in a permanent bitter mood.
Exactly.
And that's what's relatable, you know? I mean, he is relatable. I mean, that's the thing. He is relatable. I probably am not as like, he seems to get bored and get mad. Like, he creates drama and he's like, but he is relatable.
Right.
So in the next part, he goes to Chicago after the scene where he plays with, and then the cat being the wrong cat, which is another amazing sequence.
Oh my God, so
just
good.
incredible.
Where's the scrotum?
Where's the scrotum? And then he's on the drive, and this is the part where he abandons the cat, which is just the most heartbreaking moment.
Yeah, really telling. Well, and also John Goodman deserves
John Goodman's incredible. Once again, feeling like a mythological creature.
Feeling like, was he Cyclops in the Oh Brother We're Out Thou?
He was Cyclops in Oh Brother We're Out Thou, and he definitely feels like some kind of mythical. The way he's holding those canes, or as he's walking to it's like so. The movie gets so expressionistic and so like you feel like you're watching like a fucking mythological movie. You know,
truly.
And he's amazing, and
he's so good, and he kind of represents like where Llewyn Davis could end up somehow. Like if he followed this trajectory of his life for another 30 years and like was still hateful but like more self-assured, I guess.
Right.
He could end up like a heroin addicted headliner.
Where the heroin is more the focus in the show.
Right, exactly.
And I mean, so you got the jazz guy in the back who's just like high out of his mind and just crazy. And then the guy in the front, which to me is also, he represents kind of the beatnik culture.
Yes.
He's rambling about poems and shit, but he's just on heroin.
Yes.
Interesting thing I noticed this time when he goes into the bathroom stall and he looks at the wall, someone wrote, "What are you doing?"
Oh yeah.
In the next scene, the cop pulled him over, and the cop immediately goes into the car and goes, "What are you doing?"
I didn't notice
it's
that.
It's like a little like foreshadowing, like fate or something, you know?
Oh, that's great.
And then of course we get to the part where he plays for Bud Grossman, which is the most heartbreaking. You know? But
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. He was asked to be. Someone else could have been like, "That was the happiest day of my life. I played a song." He was like, "It's not really financial, but you want to be in this?
You want to be in this trio?"
And now I'm famous.
Because I mean, this is a crazy, especially watching it in 2025, and as a comedian, where like the medium has changed so much since the 80s or whatever you want to say. Where like now what it means to sit with the head of WME or UTA or like whatever the equivalent to Bud Grossman is for us in this day is so different.
Yeah.
Whereas there in the 60s, this guy could make you famous.
Right.
This guy could make you have a life that is valuable and enjoyable and beautiful with the snap of his fingers. Like he could just make you a rich person.
And he is turning him down.
And Llewyn Davis is turning him down.
And you're not, if you just follow the mood of that scene, you almost have to remind yourself that's what's happening. Because it feels like such a defeat from his perspective. Because it's that thing he's fighting against. Talent is not enough. He has to fight against that at every moment. So when he plays that song, which is beautiful, an incredible song, and then F. Murray Abraham just goes, "I don't see a lot of money in it." That's the moment where talent is not enough, and he refuses to accept that. And from our perspective, because we've gone so the other way. There is no selling out because we're all. But back then, you're like, it's such a simple answer for us because we live in this climate of no integrity. Mm-hmm. So back then we're like, well, just sell out a little.
Just sell out a little.
At least get off the fucking bed.
It's like, are you selling out? Like,
I mean, like, make money.
You're going to make money. You're going to still be playing music with two other artists. It's like, who cares?
First of all, there's no selling out if you're homeless. Like, if you're homeless and you need money, there's no, like, that's not selling out. Like, no one's going to be like, look at that hack. He was homeless, and then he joined a folk trio.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's so
selling out's like
funny.
sucking dick for money on the street. This is just being.
I mean, even that's like that's like you're working. You're putting something on the table.
But even this is it's just being in a folk trio, and you can break off from it. Do well with that. Break off, and then do your own thing. Even Doug Stanhope, he had to do like the Man Show first,
right?
And he still
That's
says
true.
no because the fucking talent is not enough. He's fighting against that.
Oh, it's so painful.
But clearly, it's not enough. Otherwise, I wouldn't be filming in this fucking
Otherwise,
basement.
you wouldn't be fucking homeless.
With a fucking old camera.
Oh, with me instead of Louis. I'm sorry. You should have Louis here, man.
But then at the same time, we look at life like this way, but we're doing well.
No, we are, and it's because there's just varying degrees of selling out and various degrees of homelessness.
Right,
like for what he was experiencing in that movie. Like we all have our own version of being like a ne'er-do-well who's just bopping around.
And that anger you're just holding on to, like that anger, like not, and it is like. I mean, it does suck. It does suck when he just looks coldly and says, "I don't see money in this."
Yeah,
it does suck that
sucks.
people can't appreciate beauty. But that's the game.
That's the fucking game. And also you have to figure, like, this guy sees a million of these people.
Yeah.
He sees every other day somebody's coming to Chicago and performing for him. And it's like, yeah, he's not going to always like everybody. Like,
yeah.
And the thing is, even if Bud Grossman had said, "Whoa, we're going to give you a deal," it still wouldn't have been.
No.
It would have.
He would have hated the way people appreciate the songs.
Right.
He would have hated the one song that got big. He would have hated. I mean, he hated when that woman was singing the
chorus.
He'd be doing that show live, and people would sing the chorus. He'd be like, "No, that's Mike's number. Don't do it."
Right.
He'd be like, "There's nothing he could do."
This guy is allergic to success.
He's allergic to success.
Completely allergic, and I think it's like makes him happy or something. Like. And this is what I go back to with these comics who are just miserable. They're afraid of success, and being sad and being a loser is what they're comfortable with and what makes them happy.
Right.
And when they go to bed...
Not happy, comfortable, familiar.
Yeah, comfortable, familiar. But I think there's a happiness in there. I think when they're in bed at 4 in the morning...
I don't think Llewyn Davis seems too happy.
Right. Well, his is this extreme case.
Yeah.
But when I think of the real people in my life who are like this... When they're in bed at night and 4 in the morning and they're drunk and they're fucking, about to jack off.
Yeah.
I think they're actually, and then they're going to eat some snacks they got from the bodega. I do think they feel happy, even though their life is horrible.
There's a familiar, sure.
It's comfortable.
There's some joy in everyone's life.
They're watching, some show and,
Yeah.
But their lives are pretty rough and they have no success and all they think about is success.
But they're at least they have the comfort of not leaving this place they know,
Right.
They're not in unfamiliar territory.
Yes.
I mean, but it is like, so yeah, from our perspective in this culture now, we see it as like, those are easy choices, he's failing. But have we become too cynical? Like, is there a real tragedy in this that someone that talented, maybe they should just be successful? Like maybe F. Murray Abraham should be moved and give him a deal. Like, is it sad that we live in this culture where talent isn't enough? I mean, is that sad,
I don't know. I don't think it's that sad because it's to me, it's so obvious, isn't it? It's like, of course, that's just how everything is. Always. Not,
I mean, finding out funny is not enough is a hard lesson that I still fight against some. I mean, I overall accept it. And once you accept it, you can work harder.
Well, here's the thing
not take it personal, but it is upsetting.
That I think about all of this when we talk about success in comedy, when we talk about like, crowd work videos, etc. And I don't do a lot of those. I don't do a lot of clips. I just don't. And this, I'm 32, so this is an interesting thing. I want to know when I'm 42 how I'll look back on this. Because here's my attitude. My attitude is, there's a lot of people that are really big right now that are not going to be big in 5 years, and their careers are built on a house of cards.
Yeah.
And it's all going to come crumbling down because it's not really based in talent and it's not based in any truth of any kind. And I look at myself and I go, I don't have the biggest social media following, but I know I'm very funny and I know I'm creating something really interesting. And hopefully in 10 years, it'll pay off. When all these fads are moved on and there's a new fad,
right?
You and I, people who are just like pursuing this thing relentlessly and are talented and are willing to sell out enough here and there, by then we'll have something to show for it. And that's why I say I'm 32. when I'm 42, maybe I'll look back on this and go, oh, I was Llewyn Davis who fucked everything up.
I mean, I think we'll still be maybe in the stand-up world, and maybe that's gotten a little better. Those people will maybe not be in the stand-up world anymore, but they'll still financially be doing better. You don't just it doesn't disappear,
or like half of them.
But it's stuff it's stuff you hate. You know,
right.
That's the thing. When I see a stand-up who's famous for just like bullshit, I'm like, well, if I'm going to be jealous of that, I might as well be jealous of like
Jennifer Aniston
a Kardashian.
Yeah, exactly. So who cares?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I agree. Should be jealous of a Wall Street guy. Like, if all you're doing is crowd work videos and captioning them, like, it's like, yeah, but then that's not art. So just be jealous of, like.
Or that's not my art.
Or it's not my art. Or anyone's. Let's not pretend.
Honestly, anyone's, yeah.
But that scene is just heartbreaking. But yes, at the same time, it's important to remember the darkness in your life. It is your perspective, and it is colored by that. And that could have been his big moment. Also, with the album, it's a song. There's a bunch of different the song that he refused to get royalty for.
Oh, right.
There's a bunch of moments. You actually see the places he could have become successful. But what I like about it is him choosing this, and that's what makes it to me more effective than I think A Serious Man is interesting, but I think ultimately it's cryptic. Mm-hmm. While this is actually a very personal movie. And it's not so much, even though it seems like it's about fate, I really think it's about the choices you make and the way you view the world.
And which is why the other movie I sent, because you asked for a few to talk about, A Different Man.
Yes.
It's very similar in that way of like you're choosing to view the world this way. But is that true? Like, is that a choice? The way that you view the world, can you control that?
I would hate to tell a deformed guy, you're really choosing to look at this darkly. But... Come to a deformed guy.
But for you and I, are we choosing our outlook?
Of course.
You think so?
You make a shit ton of money as a TV writer.
Okay.
And I'm like, have some kind of following as a stand-up and make a living. That should be you could easily see that as success.
Right.
I mean, you could easily, of course. You could easily be like, I mean, you don't want to just be completely content, but you could easily be like,
I see
we could easily be, if we had the ability to be happy for ourselves or proud or grateful, we could easily break free from that. But we're not going to.
True.
We're going to assume the world's against us. And we're not just going to assume that talent isn't enough. We're going to assume success goes out of its way to not involve talent. But of course it's all perspective. I mean, you're right. Fucking there are kids in like other countries who literally are like starving to death,
Oh, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? That's unrelated.
You're supposed to look at them and feel better about your life.
Oh, yeah.
Their death is supposed to make you... I never understood gratitude. It's kind of just being like, I'm not doing as well as that piece of shit. But so, all right, well, let's wrap.
Well, that's a Muslim thing. When you see somebody who's really fucked up, you're supposed to say, thanks be to God.
That you're not him?
That you're not him. But it's like, what about that guy?
Yeah.
What does he say?
In Judaism, Orthodox people still do this. There's a prayer in the morning that just says, thank God I'm not a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of woke. Women have it
hard. That's like Louis 2011.
Though I think
it's like that level of woke.
I
where
think
it's
they
like,
mean thank God I'm not a woman and therefore as a man closer to God. I think it's probably more like that. Than,
right, because women are bad,
or they can't pray or whatever on their period. I don't know. Fake hair.
Who cares about
women got the Muslims? They got the burqa.
We have hijabs.
Hijabs, I mean.
Yeah. And burqas.
And the Orthodox Jewish women, they got the fake
wigs,
hair.
The wigs.
Yeah.
Which is such a Jewish way to go about it.
Just a fake wig?
Just put on fake hair. Muslims are like, you got covered in black shawl.
I will say this, though. The Orthodox Jewish woman outfit is a little more free, but it's as much a turnoff, if not more. Nothing turns me off more than the jean skirts going down to the tennis shoes. I would actually take a burqa over that.
Those are rough.
Because a burqa is kind of like a question box pussy.
That's right.
It's like a mystery box.
That's right. Now, do the women have to shave their hair when they wear the wig?
I think so. Don't you have to? Or no, short hair. Yeah. I think so.
Oh, so they're not bald?
No, you don't have to be bald.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a weird custom,
everything.
like hair. Like that's the thing we're most turned on by.
Isn't that funny?
This is all these religions are just to keep men from raping women, which is like women's responsibility. Like you have to get in this burqa so I don't rape you.
Well, that's not true. Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said men have to lower their gaze, and he didn't tell women they have to do anything.
So the burqa's not.
Burqa's completely it's innovation. It's not.
Yeah,
in the,
yeah, that's what
in
I
the,
figured. I mean, I guess all this shit is.
The head covering is
head definitely.
Covering
Muhammad said cover the head.
Covering your hair and neck is a little bit more connected to the tradition. But the burqa's not. The full outfit's not. In fact, the Quran only says women have to cover their bosom.
Oh, really?
That's what
like
it's
naked, but just
you cover your. You have to cover your tits.
Well, I just think
it's essentially the only actual physical copy rule in the book.
I will say, if you're looking at it from temptation, I don't think fake hair. I don't think anyone's like, oh, that hair's real. Let me fuck her. I don't think hair's. Jews think hair is the most tempting thing. You know, like I don't know if that. I mean, it is tempting.
I mean, we do too. I mean, we're all about the hair.
Yeah,
gotta cover the hair up.
Anyway,
it's just something about it. It's just like big in this way that like it's like a plumage or something. Yeah, it's like oh, you wanna
keep that shit hidden.
You wanna fuck it. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah. And then Jews, we'll just get rich wigs. Whoever has the most expensive wig. All right. Anyway, so wrapping this up to the end.
Right.
We should wrap this up.
Yes,
I feel
please.
like this is long. You probably have somewhere to be.
No, I actually don't.
All right.
My career's not going well.
You shows tonight?
I have nothing tonight.
Oh, sweet.
What about you?
Nothing.
Cool. Want to get dinner?
Sure. Well, let me check with Kate.
Okay.
But yeah, let me check. Oh, God, now the podcast has evidence of me being a bitch.
Well, the podcast has evidence of you trying to get out of dinner with me.
No, I sincerely want to. The sad thing is, I
gotta check with Kate. I gotta check with Kate.
The sad thing is, I really do want to get dinner with you, but I do have to check with.
You gotta check with your girlfriend. I get it.
So at the
fiance.
Fiance. At the end of the movie, after that, he comes back home, and then you're getting to the final. Oh, him yelling at that woman on stage, which once again brings down the whole thing. Him yelling at the woman on stage, which is him basically attacking folk music.
Yes.
It's just his anger towards folk music, and him doing that is what causes the guy. So it's interesting. The opening of the movie, it's this weird mythological creature coming out to punch him. It just looks like fate. Yes. It just feels like a figure of fate kicking his ass.
Right.
And it is, but it's also just a dude who's justifiably pissed off because
he yelled at his wife. Yeah,
and that's the thing. What we see as fate, what we think of as fate, even if it's filmed like fate, might also just be because of something we fucking did.
It might just be a guy that's pissed off at you.
Yeah, but it is filmed, and this is the James Joyce thing. He is filmed like so, this shadowy figure, you know, like death itself coming to stop you, you know?
It's funny that he gets so pissed off at the woman because what he's mad about is that he's heckling this lady who's on stage because the guy who runs the venue tells him that he tells him that he fucks all the women who perform. That guy, by the way,
is amazing.
That actor?
It's the funniest guy. Yeah, that whole character.
It's
just where he's like, someone to fuck Gene. He just laughs so hard at that. He's like, Gene, gay sex. That guy's amazing.
That guy's great. He's great in The Sopranos too.
Yeah, so the fuck Gene.
So he says and then he starts talking about how he fucks all the women that do the venue, and of course that hits Llewyn Davis so hard because it's like completely at odds with talent and all this stuff, which is just like, oh, these women only get to perform because.
And also maybe that's the reason he's there that night, because she was like, he's like, I can't go on the basket, and she's like, I asked him, he'll put you on. So it's maybe like he's even performing that night because she has a little more power.
That's right.
Yeah, but
he's heckling, and it's like you're being mean to this lady.
Well, what he's heckling is himself. I mean, he's heckling pure folk music. Like that lady on stage. It seems very cruel, and it is. But that lady on stage just isn't the big famous dude. Right. It's him. Yeah. It's the non-famous folk purist who's just up there with the talent, and he's yelling at. He's shitting on what he is.
That's right.
You know, and that's why it's such great writing. If it would have been like Tom Paxton, whatever that guy's name is, or some clean cut kid, it would have been too on the nose. But the fact that it's just this overweight woman who's just playing like bluegrass or whatever, it's just she's a famous musician or somewhat famous underground musician, but like just the fact that's the perfect writing. He's so shitting on himself, not the fucking, you know, he's shitting. He's not shitting on him. He's shitting on the thing he loves.
Of course, the thing that he should love.
Yeah,
yes.
Fuck folk music, you know. And then, of course, you have the final song. That's all I got. When he says that, and then the Dylan moment. What do you think? Before we get out of here, the ending is very interesting. I mean, like it is. It is the most cryptic moment of the movie on some level. I mean, you know, I guess
is it? I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah,
clear cut. It's just like this guy is struggling. His whole life is hell, and he's creating hell around himself. And then, if he had just basically taken a slightly different turn here or there, or if he had just had a different perspective, or if he had just done, you know, Bob Dylan is right there.
Yeah,
you know, it's like success is right. It's 2 feet from you. The biggest artist of all time, basically, is in your fucking venue with you. I don't know. I mean, what else could that mean? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that, and there's definitely, you know, like we talked about, like this figure of fate that we thought was fate in the beginning is also just something he caused, which, you know, and the loop that we're in, the loop of the movie that he'll never get out of this. The Dylan thing is interesting. Now, on a contextual level, Dylan, he was a folk purist, this guy, and Dylan brings in this new big thing, which is, you know, kind of writing your own songs. And this is the guy. I mean, on one hand, you could say the movie is telling the story of the guy next to Dylan. You know, there's all these artists who didn't make it. Let's tell a story about an artist who didn't make it, you know? Even though Dave Van Ronk himself was very established. But this is not specifically about Dave Van Ronk. But, like, what about the au revoir, though? It's interesting when he says that to the car. That is the last line. It's interesting because he sings a song called Farewell.
Right, that's
one
of his songs.
Dylan sings a song called Farewell. Farewell, or the song has the word farewell in it. Farewell, I forget the song.
My Blue-Eyed Son?
No, it's not How Rain's Gonna Fall. You're thinking of Complete Unknown. It's one of his, I forget the song. It's Fare Thee Well something. And I forget the song, and I think it's from Bob Dylan's first. People are going to say I'm not a big Bob Dylan fan now, but it's from, I think it's from Bob Dylan.
Fuck him.
But, and then, so both songs have farewell in them, and then his last line is farewell. I mean, the story's coming to an end, but also you get the sense that he's probably done at that point, or not.
Llewyn Davis?
I guess that's
I don't
the
think
question.
so.
Is he done or is he not?
I don't think he is. I think the fact that he can't become merchant marine or whatever, the union dues, means that he's just going to be stuck. He can't not be this. And he's going to be this until it no longer exists, which is, I think, 1984, the Gaslight Cafe became a fucking vape shop or something. It's a vape shop now.
Is it right? It's right next to the cellar, right?
It's across the street, but yeah. And it's a vape store.
Well, that's the other connection between us. It's the same fucking place.
Oh, yeah, we perform right there. Yeah. We're right there every day.
I mean, there's that. It's interesting, too. The couple is leaving. They can't take it. I'm getting out of this cesspool, you know?
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's like, no, I'm staying in.
Yeah.
I'm staying in as the failure, you know?
Because that's what he wants. He wants to be a failure. He wants to be a loser. Because everyone who's successful is a fucking sellout.
Yeah, which is kind of true, but you can't think that way.
Yeah, you just have to be ignorant of it. You have to pretend like it's not true.
Well, here's the other question. What about the Coen brothers? What about the people who created the movie?
That's right. Well, yeah, it goes back to Louis. It goes back to Louis.
Yeah.
Here are these people, this guy who's presenting himself as like a big loser, who that's what art is sadness and self-destruction. But then in reality, he's fucking, going to Malibu and everyone. Well, he can do whatever he wants.
Destroyed some shit, but
yes.
He's been a little self-destructive.
He's a little true. That's true. but not at the time. Not at the time. Not 2011.
Right.
Not then. It's this depiction of a reality that's just completely fabricated.
Right.
And it does damage on young minds like me.
Yes. And Coen brothers are these great artists who have succeeded. Now,
yes, they've succeeded.
It does help that they work within genres a lot of the time. Interestingly, this is a movie that's not within their genre. I mean, I think it's one of their few movies without crime.
That's true.
Well,
John Goodman does heroin. That's a crime.
That's true. And the abortion.
Two equal crimes. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, he's still stuck in that race, and he's never going to get out of it. He's just stuck in this cycle, in the gutter. Yeah, when Dylan's playing, Dylan's about to become famous. Every time there's someone famous, there's also some other guy who's really talented.
Yes.
In the gutter.
just muck. Covered in shit.
Yeah.
And honestly, just as good.
Just as good, yeah.
Just as good.
Well, I mean, Dylan's pretty good. Right songs.
Fair enough.
Though if you've listened to Dave Van Ronk's version of "He Was a Friend of Mine," it is pretty incredible. He always thought Joni Mitchell was a better writer.
Oh, that's weird.
Joni Mitchell is incredible. He used to always say, Dylan, like in his book, he brings up all along the watchtower is a bullshit line. You don't go along a watchtower. You go along maybe like a wall, but you don't go along a watchtower.
That's true. Oh, that's so funny.
But all right. Well, this has been a great episode. I think we really broke it down. This movie's still a little cryptic. It changes every time, but I think what makes it great is that it's also personal and heartfelt.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot the song with the dab, and that's also amazing. The way the dad shits.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, that part's incredible. But anyway, thank you so much for doing this,
dude. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, you got any plugs?
Plugs. I do a one-man show. I live in Los Angeles. Follow me, Ismael Comic on Instagram. I post about it.
Great comic.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
And check out his show. Really, I haven't seen it yet, but I hear.
Yeah. Come through one day. I'm doing Fringe. I'm doing Edinburgh Fringe.
Are you doing Edinburgh?
I'm doing Edinburgh.
That's where that TV money comes in. You couldn't afford.
That's the whole reason I'm writing. So I can do Edinburgh. Yeah,
I got to do it one day.
Come through, buddy.
All right, and like I said, get tickets to my special taping. You're about to sign off with me, but wait, we'll do it in a second. Special taping, or were you pointing for the taping?
I was pointing for the taping.
Okay, I thought we were doing a sign off.
No. Tape.
Yeah. So May 15th, get tickets now. punchup.live/Raanan/tickets in Lower Manhattan. Also be at Tacoma Comedy Club April 16th. Portland Helium, April, I think, 24th or 26th. Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Michigan, and Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis. Thanks so much for watching. Cut.
Raanan is fat, and he's a Jew. He'll tell you something that you already knew. Your favorite movie sucks. Your favorite movie sucks. American Beauty or Forrest Gump. Your favorite movie sucks.